Hello, welcome everybody. This is Tammy with Autistic Wiki, and today is April 2nd, which is World Autism. Let me look, I forget every time. World Autism Day, World Autism Awareness Day. So today everybody gets to be aware of autism. So we made it 2 days, we're on a roll. Let's see how far we can keep going with this thing. So World Autism Awareness Day. So I'm reading from Autism Speaks. Every April, Autism Speaks celebrates World Autism Month, beginning with the United Nations sanctioned World Autism Awareness Day on April 2nd. This year marks the 15th annual World Autism Awareness Day. Throughout the month, we focus on sharing stories and providing opportunities to increase understanding and acceptance of people with autism, fostering worldwide support. This year, we are committed to creating a world where all people with autism can reach their full potential. So if you go to autismspeaks.org, you can take the pledge. The pledge: create a world where all people with autism can reach their full potential. By increasing understanding and acceptance, you'll receive free information, resources, and tools to engage and advocate in your community and learn the impact of your support through Autism Speaks. They also have a kindness campaign, which encourages acceptance, understanding, and inclusion with daily acts of kindness at school, work, or in the community. So I'm being cynical about it. Autism Speaks is the people who still make, I try to ignore them, so I don't know if they're still doing it, but they're famous for the ones who kind of created or pushed or furthered this idea that autism is this big, scary boogeyman that's going to destroy families, destroy careers, just make life not worth living for everybody. They created videos. One of the most famous one was, I think, called I Am Autism. And that one it makes it sound like finding out your kid has autism is just the worst thing that could possibly happen to a family. Through their various videos and communications, they would some people would be interviewing people, and people would make comments like like they were thinking about like killing their autistic child just because it got to be too much to deal with them, and they would say this right in front of the kid. So even though the child's like running around the room and looks like they're in their own little world, I can tell you from experience, we hear everything. So you hear stuff like this, you don't really respond to it, but you hear it and it rolls around in your head over and over, and you come to internalize it and come to believe that because of you, life isn't worth living for your family. So maybe they are just maybe they've seen the error of their ways and are trying to do better now. Again, I'm cynical. I don't think they are. I think it's neurotypical words. They say what sounds good for the PR campaign, but behind the scenes, it's the old watch what they do, not what they say. I can't help but wonder if that's what we're looking at here. It's unfortunate because I know when I first got diagnosed a few years ago, when I came looking for information in community, of course, Autism Speaks was one of the first websites that I found, and yeah, they made me feel like shit. Like I felt like my life was over when I found their website, and then I started thinking about it for a little bit, and I was like, I'm in my late four at the time. I'm in my late 40s, and my life can't be over just because I got a diagnosis. If I've survived this long with it without even realizing I had it, so that's when I started looking for other voices and other explanations about autism. But if you are a parent who just got that diagnosis, you don't have that background to say, hey, this information is wrong. If you're a young person, teens or early, even, early adulthood, 20s or so, there's still, you may not have enough life experience to be convinced that your life is not over. You might believe the things that they say, and I think that's very, very damaging for us, and for our loved ones to. I don't want them to think that life has to be over just because we have autism. It's a challenge. It's not easy. It wouldn't be, considered a disability if it was. In order to get the diagnosis, your symptoms have to be sufficiently disabling in your day-to-day life to cause impact. So it is a difficult thing, but lots of things are difficult. So I mean, it doesn't mean that our life doesn't matter or that our loved ones should really have any harder time. I don't think I'm explaining it right, but yeah. So April 2nd tends to be a rather dark day for a lot of autistic people, especially on Twitter. That's where I spend most of my time when I'm interacting with other autistic people. So on Twitter, if you go on there today, you'll probably find that there's a lot of back and forth and a lot of kind of anger being expressed, a lot of frustration. Saying things like we don't need awareness. Everybody knows that autism exists. What we need is acceptance and really respect and just kind of things like that. But that we'll talk about that another time because I have some thoughts on that. It's just briefly, like I know that blindness exists, right? Like I know that there are people who are blind in this world, but yet I don't have anybody in my immediate circle who is blind. So there's a lot of stuff I don't know about the blind community or how to, like if I suddenly had a blind coworker or something or a neighbor or anything, I could very easily make a comment about, just being blind, and maybe that's not the correct word that you're supposed to say anymore. Maybe you're supposed to say a person with low sight or whatever, like the wording is always changing. So it's entirely possible that I would do something wrong just because you can't know everything, I mean, if you don't have somebody in your immediate circle who's autistic, you probably aren't all that aware of autism. Autism. Just like the verbiage and everything that we are supposed to be saying. But then again, like even me, I'm autistic, but I go long stretches of time where I don't log into my Autistic Wiki account, so I don't see a lot of the autism related groups and advocacy. So every 6 months, if I log in and then I go to look at people, I'll find that whatever word we were saying 6 months ago is now forbidden and you're not allowed to say it anymore. So even somebody who's autistic can't keep up with it. I don't think it's fair to expect the general public to keep up with what is correct and what is the right way of doing things in the community. So I have a fair bit of um, I have a fair bit of compassion. Is that the right word? Patience when it comes to interacting with people. If they say things, if they don't say things, the correct way. If it kind of rubs me wrong, I'm okay with telling them in a nice way. Hey, I prefer you would say it this way, instead of jumping on them. I don't think that's really all that necessary. But yeah, this kind of got down a rabbit hole that I was not planning on. That happens all the time. So let's just roll back. Let's circle back. So April 2nd, 2022, World Autism Awareness Day. So consider yourself aware. Thank you.